about. All right. I think we were doing file typing. This is what we were talking about the other day. So I'm going to run queries using file type. And did you, any one of you got chance to look up that link I sent you for the video, that short video clips on
Yeah,
the file type? You
I
looked at
watched.
it?
Yeah,
You watched it? Okay.
yes.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was clear the example given.
Okay. So it's going to be somewhat more of the same thing. We will actually run those queries now. I'm just going to pick it up from where we left with the slides. So let's see, where is the file type? Gosh, man. Hmm. Mhm. There. Okay. So let's see. Last search file type. Okay, few things I want to clear up with the way you're going to write the operators. I'm just talking about advanced operators right now exclusively. So anything that is a advanced operator has a way about it on how you're going to, uh, you know, uh, I guess, form it or form the query, or some ways that would work the same. That's what I'm going to talk about there. Finally, gosh, I don't know why. If you look at this slide I'm showing right now, it's telling you something about how you're going to be able to write the operators, and it's going to work exactly the same for all advanced operators. So if you have an advanced operator such as like file type colon PDF that is followed by the term that you want to get searched, like this one, it's Elasticsearch, and you've written file type after the term, you would probably, and looking at the results as well, it's got 46,400 results. Now, supposing you had to shuffle it or move the operator to start with the query in the beginning, or in the beginning of the query, you write file type colon PDF and followed by the Elasticsearch, you would get exactly same results. So it would not really matter where you are going to place the advanced operators in the query. Apparently, it's all going to be looked at as if it is taking, uh, I guess, what do you call it? It's more heuristic in the sense that it's going to look at the complete thing without any regards to when or where it started, either from left to right or from right to left. Whichever way you're going to place the advanced operator, it'll give you the same results. Um, Things that are important for us to actually apply in the queries. And I think I have some of the queries that might be somewhat similar to what you saw in the video. What's happening here? Why? What happened? Went blank? Hold on. Let me reopen it. Okay. And, yeah, let's look at this one. So if I have to write these queries and run them in my search, starting with the first example that we have, this is looking for the term California stroke deaths 2015 statistics. These are the wordings that we are using. And supposing if I had to look for the files like XLS, I can write it this way, as you could see. I can run this query. So all I'm getting is XLS files. See this icon? This one, all of them are XLS. Now, supposing I take the same query and I say that I want to search two types of files, not just XLS. There are occasions when do we want to search more than one type of documents or one format, more than one format of documents. Then the question is, can we do that? I mean, these are the terms, these are, the words. We don't have to worry about them right now. We are more concerned about how we are going to run these file type queries. So one of the formats I'm looking for is XLS. Would I be able to look for, let's say, another, if I run another instance of file type here, and I say I need, say, doc file, say, would I be able to run these two together? Listy, you saw the video. Did you
I think
see
you need to
anything
use
on those lines?
the or operator there.
Hmm?
You need to use or
Sorry.
for the file.
Your voice is breaking now.
Hang on.
Good. So, thing is that it is difficult to run, or it is not a valid search query, even though it is possible to look for two types of documents at the same time by using two instances of file type or even more. Like you can even do file type and do, say, PowerPoint. Okay. That would also be, that would allow you to do search for three type of documents. But there is a problem here. Uh, One problem is that file type colon is an absolute command. Absolute means that it is suggested to run it only once or use it once in the query search. And you certainly don't want any other file type to run along with it or alongside it to cause any conflict, right? So usually it is suggested just to run it as a one instance and not to do multiple searches with other file types. So what is it that we can do to make it work? That is the question. So that's what we will be doing. Now I'm going to try it in the search box and see if it is. Let's start with the two types of two file types first. So I want to search XLS and doc files. Okay. So when I do that, no results. If I have to make this work, there is something that I might be able to do. That's going to open it up and make this search valid. And that is to insert the OR operator with the vertical bar to make the search engine believe that it has been given now a choice instead of just getting stuck with two file types that contradict each other being an absolute command. We want to open it up and make it a choice for the search. That this way the search would understand it better. And let's suppose if I run it now, it should start giving me the results. And if I look at what's the outcome, I would see both types of files like XLS and doc files are showing up. If I keep flipping or going to the next SERPs, I would still be dealing with doc or XLS files. I won't be getting PDFs or not even HTML regular documents. We are looking now the outcome of what turns up exclusively. So this is an exclusive kind of command that is considered to be precise enough that it's going to only bring documents that are either XLS or doc files. Now, the sequence in which these XLS and docs are appearing, like you could see in the first snippet, there is XLS, then we've got doc, again doc, the fourth one's again XLS, and so it just keeps changing. The priority of how they are listed in the snippet or how snippets are organized, um, the first or the second or the third, it would invariably be constrained to deliver only two types. And at the same time, there is no guarantee that the sequence of what appears first as doc or XLS appears third or fourth. That is very difficult for us to figure out because of the ranking theorems. Any document that has got a more popularity or more access through the popular searches or the terms that keep bringing or keep pointing to these different snippets would carry a weightage and would identify it as holding a position in the sequence in which it would appear or the ranking in which it will appear in your search results. So we won't be able to control it. But good news is that we are still able to use file type for searching two types of files. Now, can we search another file type using the OR? I think we can. So I'm going to put here file type PowerPoint as well. And by the way, if you're looking for XLSX version or DocX version, which is the new version or the new extension from the Microsoft Office, you would be able to only get DOCX files. It's not going to entertain, just DOC. It'll have to be DOCX. So that's what really sometimes makes me do an additional search using DOCXs as well as so in any case, I can even do with the file type docx if I want to. But let's stick to what we have right now. We've got PowerPoint, doc, and XLS. And if I run this one, I'm getting PowerPoints, XLS, docs. So all of these are appearing. And I would get none other than these three, which is a very strong restrictor to stick to these type of files only that's going to appear in your search. All right. A lot of times when I'm doing my search, I want to make sure that let's say I don't need PDF files in my search results. So what I would do is that I would make it into a third query. Well, first of all, let's correct it. So the correct One is now I'm going to do the third one. Now, supposing I don't want the search to bring, let's say, PDFs. How am I supposed to make sure that the PDF file format does not show up? Like all these search terms will be bringing HTML plus other formats, but particularly if I don't need the PDF versions to be included in search results, what should I do? Any idea?
Would you add the minus for the not in front of the PDF?
Okay, so whenever we are going to put the
No, no.
minus sign, it has to be before, the operator.
Okay.
And if you're going to put it, see this, this will corrupt the query or the purpose of the declared value or the declared property
Got
will
you.
not entertain, yeah, will not work. So it has to be, you know, written like this.
So I was halfway there. I got the right operator, just in the wrong spot.
Yeah, you're all right. You made it there, almost there. So supposing I don't want any other formats as well, can I use would this be okay, you think? With the or in between? Uh, Logically, it should not be put in there, even though it will work. It would say, don't find this or don't find this or that, but doesn't make sense. You know what you don't want. It's
Yeah.
not like to give it a choice. So I would rather just go like, remove the ORs, and I can use multiple instances of minuses and with the file type so that I don't get any of these. What would be the outcome? I think the outcome would be that I would end up getting other formats like HTML, which is the regular format of pages,
Mhm.
probably get image files like, whatever image files are there, it's several uh, formats that we can think of, multimedia, everything else except for these. Okay,
Yeah.
that would start showing up. So that's where the file type may be used when you are only looking for HTML pages. And you can use minus to get rid of all these formats. Now, there is one caveat or reservation in using the file type for a particular type of file. Rather use this one, the PDF version. So let's suppose we keep the same query intact, which is query number two, what is it? Yeah, query two. No, this one, let's call it 2.1, right? So similar to 2.1, except that if we want to add, let's suppose we add a file type PDF. There is an issue with using the PDF as a declared value against the file type. It's because somehow the search engine has decided to use PDF version as more prevailing, more dominant, and therefore it suppresses the ability of the search to find other formats. Um, and It's not that it's not going to be found, but they are buried so much below um, that in the ranking system that they don't even show up in the search pages. So, to our best knowledge, anytime wherever we are comparing or looking for PDFs or PPT or anything that works along with PDFs, the result predominantly is showing, and invariably also, um, it's going to only bring PDF documents, and the rest of the choices will somehow pair to not be non-existent, or it won't show up. So if I have to run this in the search, now look for these icons to see if you're getting other choices like docs or PPTs or XLSs. They're all PDFs, all of them. And go to the next page, you will keep seeing PDF. Those that don't show the icon, they'd still be PDFs. If you click on this and you go somewhere, see this PDF in the link. So this will be a PDF document, even though the icon is not showing, right? You want to check? Let's check. So PDF document. So sometimes the icon don't show up, but still is a PDF. Okay. And you keep going to different search pages and you won't find XLS, doc, or PowerPoints. You can see that PDF is dominating all other documents. So if I have to search something that includes PDF versions, I wouldn't keep my hopes high to find other types of formats to be found alongside or along with the PDF. So let me go back to this. This we will just label them as incorrect. Okay. Why? Because there is no way that other formats are going to be found. So the best thing that we could do is that we want to revert back to, or whenever we are using multiple choices, multiple file formats, we would use doc, XLS, PowerPoint, and anything else that is acceptable format or which runs in file type. Uh, that's going to be workable, but PDF won't be workable with others. Now, there is one more thing about file type we want to talk about. File type. Okay. I want to find formats that we like to search mostly in, say, if it is a PNG or image files. Because if you looked at the list, it does not have the JPEG, PNG, GIFs, and other things that has to do with image files, or even for multimedia files like WAV or MOVs. They won't be found, even though we can try with, let's say we want to use black cat, and we want to find black cat, and we're going to use, let's say, it's a PNG format. The last we checked, this file format or image, any of the image file formats was not working with the file type. Got nothing. And JPEG, nothing. We write MOV. Okay. MOV is working. That's fine. Google keeps changing what works or what does not. No, it's not. What kind of a... No, these are not the formats. These are not the format. This is an erroneous result.
You're getting into porn, so I wouldn't recommend that.
Really? Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. Safe search is off. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So, what other format? So anything wave is another format. It's not going to show anything. So anyway, the thing is that you have to stick to the list of what file types the search is going to work with using the file type operator. So this is not going, but there is a workaround it. There is a workaround it. Now, what we would do, and I would change it to PNG, perhaps that would be a good idea. And let's suppose I'm not getting black cat and I can't, you see, uh, there is one concept I want to really clarify about doing search using search queries or building search queries with this operator, particularly when you're looking for images. You have to know that there is a difference in how the search works when you are choosing to search it through the image search. Image search is obviously a utility, right, in Google, and you can do image search, you can do, compare images. That's a totally different algorithm. That is a it is a different process. It is integrated into Google Chrome, but it is not the same as running search queries. Like images have got a different indexing system. It has a different way of retrieving, comparing, and there is a technology difference also. Has a huge thing to do with pixels and you know certain combinations of algorithms that are specific to finding images only or comparing images and everything else. So whenever you're doing a search for images using image as a choice, or image search as a choice, it is not, you cannot compare it with what we are about to do. We're doing search to find images which are not recognized for how they appear or how the pixels are set or how the images appear, because that is that algorithm, like I said, is way different. So how the images are identified is based on how you name those images. When you're doing the search, putting it into a query format, you are basically asking the search do a text match of what is or what is the title or the name given to that image. So even if it is my photo somewhere in the internet, um, and my name is spelled different, or my name, you know, or somebody else's name is put with my picture in a textual format when they are putting it or embedding it in their HTML pages, it is not going to bring my picture, or you won't be able to find me, even though my photo is there. But like important thing to note is that it is just going to read the text part or how you have named the image. So just keep that thing in mind, and then um, we will look at how we can find the black cat. by just using the colon sign. So here I have used the word black cat, and I have declared and I've removed the word file type. Basically, I'm not applying the operator file type colon at all. I've extracted the colon sign to give a command to the search to find a PNG format of black cat. And now it is going to do a different type of search. It's not an image search. Okay. You see, it has found the black cat. One of the advantages of using this is that it would even find you pages that has uh, that is not directly taking you onto the image, but taking you to a page that may have the images listed as PNG, or PNG images are, sort of placed in that document somewhere with the name or the title with the word black cat in it. So it's not taking you directly to the image, but taking you to those pages that has the images of black cat in the PNG format. Another way of explaining it is to look at our content uh, layout here. See, for instance, in this slide, you can see that the PDF documents are listed here, right? On this page, you see, this is a PDF document and it may have a title, a name to it. There are 3 documents that are supposed to be, listed, but not carrying direct links where you can navigate from snippet onto the document. Here, you are looking at the listing of PDF documents that are set inside of the content page. If you compare it with, running the query file type colon and using the PDF extension, it would bring you the snippets that will take you directly to the PDF pages. So that this process is different. And the process I'm referring to right now to finding the document that are only listed, but not directly linked or identified with or indexed as PDFs. So these type of documents allow you to search even deeper to look for documents that are just listed and not really indexed or linked as something that you can navigate to from clicking on those snippets that has PDF icons on it. Okay. Does this make sense or not? Okay. All right. So if you understand the concept, then you would appreciate also how we get advantage of running certain for looking for certain file formats like black cat, for instance, and just applying the colon sign with the declared PNG brings us more results. They bring us all sorts of PNG documents, even if they are somewhat listed or are arranged in any of those content pages that is named black cat. So more in the scope, you can get more out of it. Okay. Similarly, there are some other examples that would be interesting. I don't know what happened to this slide. It just um, it's not bringing the images. Okay, I'm going to have to shut this one, and perhaps I have it here somewhere. Okay, next is Here is another example. So if you have to look, and this is using your colon sign only, okay, and you can even find PDFs, which is, like I said, will give you a broader range of PDF documents that will be brought in the results, which includes those listed PDFs along with all other PDFs that have direct links or they are indexed as PDF pages. So both types will start to appear. So if I have to look for IRS form 1040, for example, I can just put the term IRS 1040 colon sign and then PDF, and I should be able to get more documents. If I have to do a deeper search looking for a specific type of documents without putting the word file type, I can play with colon sign alone and still get the results and be able to get even more results. Okay. And I explained to you why. Okay. So let's just take any questions if you have on file type or something that comes to your mind, which I can run as a query. Uh, if not, then we'll just take a short break, and then when I return, we'll start with other operators. We'll start with the ones that are inside of the snippet, the title, in title, and so on. So we can do that. We can take a short break and see you in a little bit. If you still can think of a question before I come back, please write it down for me or put it in a chat. And it has to be on the file type. Then I'll be able to explain it as soon as I return.
Yes, I can hear you fine. Thank you.
Excellent. So you made it, eh? We finished up the first segment. So we're starting with the second one. You joined us while we were on a break. So we shall get started momentarily. And few things that I will be working with. Okay. Okay, I guess everybody is back. There is Kristen and there is Listy. And if you're all there, we can continue. We will be starting with the operators that has to do with the snippets or something that brings the information to what you get to see in the snippet format. Let's see where the information is coming from. It's a bit of a revision. And then we will look at in title, in text, and in URL. These three different advanced operators. So let's look at where the information is getting pulled from the code side, because code is what is read by the search. And it's going to query inside of the tags which are named. And I think we've touched upon it previously, and you know what tags are, and some of the tags are more important than the others. Other tags that are named specifically or given a label which has a list that we call, or this is the lists you could see on the left hand side. And then we've got something of a meta tags or tags that are actually that contain certain meta information, which is what is going to be pulled for what you see in the title part. This in the snippet in the purple color is the title. So all this text is pulled from the title tag here. See this one? This one is the title tag, and this exact information is matched when you are doing search for, let's say, internet research specialist, and you see this snippet shows up. You know that this exact text is actually pulled from the title tag. And if we have to run the query using in title and a colon sign, we are only querying the title part. And just for your information, there are two types of tags that pertain to the title, one of which is a meta title and the other one is a non-meta title. Meta title runs behind the header part, which is what we call meta information about the page, one of which says meta title or it is the main title of the page or the site itself. And then a non-meta is what explains or what defines, rest of the pages. If you go beyond or you navigate outside of the home page, anywhere else on those, uh, sub navigations, you would see that non-meta title has the information about that specific page. And therefore, that information is also part of what gets queried or what gets matched when you are defining your search terms to work with the in title colon. Okay. So, one of the drawbacks of doing search with the in title is that it would not work with the type of words or something that don't exist in the title tags of those content pages. And secondly, if it is a very long sentence and it is something that don't exactly fit in or does not resonate with how titles are phrased, they're usually very concise and they contain certain terminologies which may not be as detailed but very specific. So there is a very small pool of words that can be matched when you are querying with in title. On the other hand, the in title would be more convenient or more useful if you are looking for some power words or words that literally bring you a specific type of document or take you to a specific type of page which has a title like FAQs or frequently asked questions or help or forms, those kind of wordings that normally is what is placed inside of the title. So if you know those or you're specific about what terms can be best suited to be used with in title, you can obviously do that. At the same time, I told you what the limitations might be. So we can work with some of the in title examples. And by the way, next thing is to understand what happens when you put the all as a word right next to the operator itself, or if I want to just explain it slightly better, what we are going to be doing next in title colon is to check the in title colon is different from all in title. So two types of searches we will do. One that is using in title and the other one is using all in title. Similarly, there is um, convention, you can call it a convention whenever we are talking about snippet related operators, we are dealing with three types. One is what's going to be querying the title part. The other one is in text, which is going to look for terms that are inside of the body of text. That again, we will come back to later, but just so that we understand the difference between using all alongside or attached to these operators, what could be the differentiator or what would be the outcome of using the word all. So in URL is the next one. In all three instances, now these are all snippet related. Okay? All of these have the all attached to it or available, you could say rather. The reason I'm explaining this is because it would actually work in a similar way. Technically speaking, it has a tendency to have a similarity in terms of what is measured or what is a differentiator when we use in URL versus all in URL or all in text versus all in title and in title versus all in text versus all in text and all in title and all in title. So these all is what is going to be explained right now in just a minute. So these are the ones, and even if I just explain you the or I only explain to you all in title against in title, you can apply the same concept for all in text and all in URL. So let's see what is the difference. Okay, so this is the example. These two we are going to compare to explain in title. So if it is in title and these are the three terms, we have to look for the in title would definitely and most certainly would make sure that the return results contain the word internet because it is connected to some, you could say that it's connected because there is no space given after the colon sign and it is the first word, okay, after the colon sign. So this becomes a mandatory return automatically. Whereas these two other words, research and specialist, the search engine would have the choice of either make pairing them or dropping any of these words or just using one word as as possible returns along with the word internet. So the mandatory would be internet, research and specialist could be discretionary. Okay. And the search can even combine these two or combine these three together as well. It just depends. Or if we had put these within quotation marks, then the entire term will have to be matched as it exists after the colon sign as a mandatory return. Okay. So this would be a mandatory return. In this case, if we take off the quotation marks, internet is mandatory, research and specialist is not. Let me look at, I'd rather use the book for this example. Internet search engine index. Okay, so this is a better version of it. Internet The difference between the two is that in the in title, as I explained to you, this could be a choice, whereas internet is mandatory. But all in title, or whenever we put or add the word all, it has to bring back results that contains all the four terms, or all four words rather. Okay. Um, and these wordings have to be in the title part or somewhere in the title tags. Similarly, in title, we'll be exclusively searching in the title tag and nowhere else. So this is where the restraint is, that it will only be querying the title tag. When we queried using in title, the search was able to find these three words and it dropped the word index from the title part, even though the word index was found elsewhere, like in the description portion or in the URL, or it may totally disappear. It just depends on what the outcome is. But when we run this query, and we can run it actually to see if it's still functional as it existed before. So let's try it and see what it does. Currently, it was able to find all the four terms, but and it is on the title portion. So the default action always, like I said, there is an assumed plus sign in between words. And if it works, it's fine. If it doesn't, it's not obligatory. But in this case, we found the first result that had the word index in it, and it has the word search engine. So, and internet search engine. So it has all the four words. But let's look at the other one. This one, and we are only going to be matching whatever comes in the title part. In this one, we got internet search engines, but the word index was dropped, okay, in the title part. In the third one, again, we've got internet search engines. The index is missing. Same thing in the fourth result. Even though the word index is showing in the description, but this is not as relevant as making sure that with entitle, we understand whatever is to be compared has to be inside of the title portion. Okay. And if instead of using in title, if we put all in title, let's see what happens. Search engine, index, and internet, all the words are here. It's not complete. Oh. These are very long titles, that's why. So if I click on this, search, index, internet search engine, all words are available. So basically, whenever we are doing all in title, it's going to bring, all the search terms in the title part, which is what we are looking at, or that's where we navigate it from. So now another one more thing that you have to notice is that whenever we are using all, it would have the terms, but not necessarily in the same sequence on how you have placed them. So that sequence would be broken, yet you would find that all the terms are there and they're used in the title part. Um, see, index is here. It is not saying internet search engine index. So that's how they're placed. But since we are more focused on what could be the differentiator, the differentiator therefore is that the in title dropped in the examples we just did, the word indexed quite often, like from the title part. Whereas when we did all in title, it made sure that in the title, in the title tag, it has all these 4 words available, not necessarily in the same sequence, but surely they will be found there. But in title, you could see invariably that the word index gets dropped off and on in the search results. So this is the difference. Another problem I usually apply in title, if I have to use the if I have to do search in the title part, I would prefer to use in title more often, and I seldom use all in title. And I do the same with in text, with an all in text, and in URL and all URL. My preference is always use it without putting the all in it. And the reason, I'll tell you why. One reason is that all in title is an absolute command, which means that it won't exist alongside with another instance of all in title. Secondly, it will not function with any other operator. It's very finicky about it. So that becomes a restrictor for me. And I want my searches to be given slight bit of flexibility. At the same time, there is another advantage of applying these words um, with multiple instances of in title, because that's where I can enjoy that flexibility. And I'll show you how that might work. So if I use in title and say in title, my query could be let's suppose if I've used in title in first instance using these 3 words, knowing that for sure they are, because they're primary keywords and together they solidify the concept of finding something with reference to the search engine. Next thing I'd be able to do is I can also put in title as a second instance, because now I can use it multiple times, not all in title. So in title, if I want to use the word index, now this word index is separated from internet search engine, and I am still able to get my search results that would surely find these 3 words if I want them together in this sequence. And I can break this sequence of how they are placed one next to another, just so that the word index, not knowing exactly if the word index is a continuation from the last word, engine here, like internet search engine, index may not be there, but it could exist alongside internet search engine. So breaking it makes it easier, gives more flexibility. And if I'm not sure of all 4 existing together, I won't even put it within quotations. That's number one. Number two is, if I feel that the word index can be used as any other reference but related to internet search engine, I would create another instance of in title and place the word index next to it. This way, I'll find both. I'll find the word index with reference to internet search engine in the title portion. But if I am running all in title, then I'm stuck with the situation where I cannot break the word index. All I know is that all these words would be erratically arranged, or even if I did it this way or exactly wrote it within quotes as I did with the previous example, and if I do it exactly like this, it's not going to work. And I don't have to apply the all in title again. First of all, it's not going to work. Second of all, it's just going to be, it'll be negating, or it will um, be canceling the effect of the existence of all in title, or the reason for its being used. So if I have to use it in the next instance, it still doesn't make sense. All entitled means all the word declared after the colon sign. So if this is an absolute command saying that that's all I need, and if I use the second instance of all entitled, basically it is negating, or the effect is that it's going to cancel it out. So all entitled is this way is less flexible. I mean, I can write it the way I've written it, all entitled to contain all these words and the word index in it, right? But it won't allow me to, when I have longer search queries, it won't allow me to break it into pieces. Or there could be two elements or two combinations of words that don't combine together, yet they exist as search terms. And unless I put them, using the in title rather than putting all in title, I'll be getting more flexibility. Another problem I will face is that I may not be able to use um, other operators along with it. So if in title I want to find index, and in the third instance, I would use another operator, let's say in text, and I say in the text or the body of it, um, you know, of that page, which has a title with these uh, wordings in there, I also want for it to discover in the body of it, in the rest of the textual content, to find something that has another wording which says textual semantics, let's suppose. If I do the same thing with my query using all, it will not work. So if I did use the other operator, which is in text, this will not work with it. Okay. Because that's a rule of using all in title. Okay. However, there is one more thing that you can do with all in title that will coexist with another instance of all in title, but definitely not going to work with any other operator. Okay. Uh, Now, what is going to be that option for it to coexist is again to use the OR. So if put the and put all in title, this way it has got the possibility to work, where you are now giving it a choice and not making it an absolute enough command for the search to default onto only one instance. Here, you have opened it up a little and you've allowed it to either find in title the textual semantics or use index, right? To find everything over here or find everything over here. But these queries are flaky. Remember, the certain advanced operators are finicky. Certain operators I will mention that won't work altogether with any other operator, which is going to come later. There is an operator called related colon. It won't work with any other operator. You cannot even open it up further with adding the or sign. So I will mention it when it comes. But wherever there is a flexibility, slight flexibility, it might be flaky because it's not recommended. However, we get into a tight spot where we need these things or these tricks to open more possibilities for us. We can definitely try these. But like I said, not recommended to use multiple instances of any of these with all attached to it. So the result is that I would rather prefer to use multiple instances of in title and not use all in title as much. And same thing I'll do with others. So this is the story of all, or the differentiator between all and those that don't has these words attached to it. Okay, next is where do we find some examples to run the in title and all in title. I'm going to pick some of these from here. Mostly the reason why we use in title is shown as examples for the type of queries that are looking for, headings or titles. It could be the author, name of the book, something that is, you know, famous lines, or anything that makes it into a title area, or within the title tag. So that's pretty much okay. So this example, let's do this example. Okay, one more concept I want to clarify. See, this is why these lectures are important, because not everything is in the book. Sometimes the examples are there, but they are not explained as much. So, before you start reading the book, if you keep whatever is explained in the class, it helps a lot. It clears up a lot of questions that might just come up when you're reading from the book. I wanted to explain another thing in now, whatever is applied or whatever is explained as, let's just say, rules or conventions, or best practice, whatever you call it, whenever I'm explaining things, with the in title example that is coming from the set that is categorized under snippets, the characteristics and rules are somewhat similar in how they would function. So I don't have to explain it again when we do in text and in URL. We don't have to do it over again, right? Hmm. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is one of the things that I find that's going to be applied similar as conventions. Let's call it convention. I don't use the word rule because Google keeps changing its algorithms, and then we have to really, you know, figure them out. And by the time we get done with inducting it into our course and into our course material, there is a gap of time. So sometimes things change, um, and so we need to be, on the top of it. And that's the reason why don't we don't say rules, because we don't make them. Basically, we're just working around a platform that's already, not in our control, but we keep a watchful eye. So I'm going to explain to you one of the concepts. It's going to be applied throughout the snippet operators. Let's suppose we have in title, we are looking for the term to be or not to be. Okay, so this is one of the it's extracted from famous line. Everybody knows, it's quite common. You can Google it and find it. And by the way, all of these are stop words. So to make this appear as something that is matchable in those famous lines of Shakespeare play, we have to enclose it inside of the quotation marks for it to be recognized as such. So in title, let's say to be or not to be. Just because there is no gap between the colon, and by the way, there should never be a gap after the colon sign and the term. We call it declared term or property value. So the property value or the property name, either way, I explained that as well. That's just a technical term. So if whatever the declared property name is, here the name is to be or not to be, let's say. And there should be no gap after the colon sign. If you leave a gap, the entire term or whatever you wrote here in title with the colon sign will be treated as a word and not as a function. Secondly, uh, whatever you write here and leave a gap would treat this to be a separate term, and it has nothing to do with in title or the word in title as it would be interpreted. So therefore, anyway, no gaps. So whatever gets declared after the colon sign is a mandatory return. It is forced to find it exactly as you have put it. And anything that is followed or which is subsequently arranged, like the word Shakespeare here. Yeah. The word Shakespeare means that it is not like you are searching in the title for this word. You are basically searching for the word Shakespeare anywhere on the page. So three elements, like I explained to you, what the search matches. It's going to look at the meta tags. If anything exists in the meta tags, including the in title or the title tag, it's going to match with it. Second, it's going to match it in the URL of the page itself. Then the third layer would be the textual portion or the body of text is going to match it over there. So what happens when you get the snippet back, you would see that in the title portion, for sure to be or not to be is going to be there, has to be there. Whereas the word Shakespeare can exist in the description part or in the top URL as part of the URL or anywhere in the stem of URL. This means that it is not controlled by you to be specific enough for it to only query the title portion. Just because it is not, you know, it is not enforced in the title line or in the title tag. Alternatively, if I want to ensure that the word Shakespeare should exclusively be found along with or alongside to be or not to be in the title portion, I will use another instance of in title to make, oh, what happened here? In title to ensure that this is also part of the title portion, basically adding to the context alongside the wordings to be or not to be. Alternatively, we could also write it, we can always write it all in title can be used also. I mean, I'm not denying that we can't do it, except that I don't have to use it. Now, this way, this is the exception where all entitle must contain everything that is set or placed in front of it or after the colon sign, including what is mandatory term, this one. It would also have to look for the term Shakespeare. That's what it means when you say all entitled. It's exclusively the entire space on the right hand side of the colon is to be accepted or to be considered as part of the return that should contain all of these words. So this is a different, this is slightly different in that sense. But in the in title, for as I explained to you, if I don't put it in title, Shakespeare would, the word Shakespeare would be anywhere, could be found anywhere on those pages and would show up, as I said, in all three elements, okay, or in any of the three elements. So if you can remember this, would be nice. It's a lot of information, I know, and at least we're getting everything recorded. So you can always, revert back, use it, learn from it, and then you get in the habit. You'll just start picking these up, or these are some of the ways in which you will start to look at what is taught in the class, so that there is no confusion when you read the book, or especially in the exam if they're going to test you on queries. They don't get as tricky in the exams. It's a multiple choice questions first of all, so not a whole lot of time for you to think, so they don't necessarily make it too complicated. That's a good thing. But on the other hand, for you to practice with, and if you are actually doing your research, perhaps you want to, uh, do some hands-on with what you've learned. So you get this one. The differences that I showed you, let's just call it 8.1. So there is always an advantage and a disadvantage for using all in title versus in title. On the contrary, reason why this might be a problem if I use all in title is that I won't be able to see this will work fine as I showed you in 8.1, which is fine. Okay. Um, this is fine. But if I want to use the word Shakespeare in, let's say, in the text portion or in the body of text, and if I have to use it like this, it won't work only because there is now less flexibility. All in title is not going to accept any other, or it will not coexist with any other operator. Okay. Or not even file type. Even if you type file type, you say you only want PDFs, it will not function. Even if you put an OR, it will not function. Okay. So it's always a better choice to use in title versus all, or wherever all is used, it could be less useful because less flexibility there, right? Now I'm going to pick, I've explained the in title concept quite clearly and quite extensively. Now I want to look at some of the examples that I can pick just to show you how we can use it or the ways in which, because this is the first time you're using advanced operator besides file type. So one of the things that would help is uh, how you can construct certain search queries with slight variations or situations that might be available to you as a choice. So supposing if I have to make a choice between using these two queries, I'm going to make it like query 9 and 10. Am I 6, 7, 30? Still have 20 minutes. We can do it. Now between query 9 and 10, and we will, if we get a chance, we'll run it as well in the browser. Supposing this query 9 has the words security and the word advisor that you don't require, and with reference to the name gentleman John Bolton, who is a writer or an author, you want the outcome to exclude the words like security and the word advisor. And here we have just put a minus sign against the word itself, whereas in query 10, which is exactly the same query, the difference being that I've used in title here with a minus sign. So what might be the difference, or what could be the strategy rather, between 9 and 10 to run it successfully? First of all, let's just assume John Bolton. We can just put it within quotations. I know that could be something lingering in your mind. So let's just put this within quotation. It's not going to change anything. Let's suppose now that it looks better, what could be the differentiator? And where would we get more return results? I would say that in the query 9, we should get less results? Get more results. I'll tell you why. First of all, everything on the left-hand side before the word security and advisor is correct. It's nothing complicated here. But when we are putting a minus sign next to the word, we are telling the search to exclude those pages that has the word security and the word advisor anywhere on the page, including the meta tags or including the title part, including rest of the body of text, including the URL part. Basically, you don't want to see any of these words appearing in all these portions or um, different segments of the content page. So page should not have any of these words altogether. So this lessens the likelihood of getting the pages uh, from the search, as it is, filtering out a lot more. Okay. But when we compare it with 10, there is a slight difference here. Here we are being very specific to where, from which portion of the content pages the word security and advisor be excluded. With the minus sign, we are telling that the word security should not be included in any of the titles that gets returned, or whatever the outcome is derived or returned based on this query or this portion of it. The words security and the word advisor should not exist in the title part or in the title portion. So the result is that now we are being too specific to the title tag only and nowhere else on the content page. We might not be able to exclude those pages that have content anywhere else on the page, not being in the title tag. So we will get probably more results. Now we've opened it and given it a little bit of a leverage to find it exclusively in certain page portion of it, not the entire page. Okay. So more results would be coming back to us. Is this clear? I believe should be. All right. Um, take another example. Come on. Did you want me to run this? Or you can run it on your side just to check. I don't know if AIP is still there or not. Anyway, I'm just going to run another example. But first, let me test it out. What I'm trying to compare with the query here is when I have like two terms, members list and members directory, and I've used in title AIIP. What is it that I can get from this search? So AIP I need in the title part, the members directory or members list. Both of these terms could be, or any of these terms can be found, but not necessarily in the title portion. So if I have to use the or, will I be able to use in title twice, like once with members directory and next with the members list? Should I be doing that? So basically, I'm going to try two options. We don't have a lot of time right now, but I just want to finish up one more thing, and that is probably going to end it. And that's going to be okay. If you look at the query 11, it's obvious that, these are the two search terms we are looking for. But in the title portion, we want to make sure AIIP is there. However, if we want to ensure that the search brings the optional find between members directory and members list, it would do it also in the in title portion. But in the query 13, you can see that we have used the or sign, but what we put against each other as an option says that one is in title search and the other one is in text search. So this is incorrect. Like whenever you're using the or statement, you can never put two different types of operators to work alongside or against each other or with each other, with the or in between. So this is also correct to use, and this is also correct to use. Here, the members directory and member list can be anywhere on those pages for it to be matched, whereas the title will only stick to the word AIIP. All right. Okay. So when we do the in-text in our next class, that's where I'm going to ask you to find in fact, I'll show you the difference between using certain terms with in-text that would not work if you have applied them using in-title, or you made a mistake using in-title command for those type of words or those type of search phrases, because it won't bring you any results or it will be null results. And those could be explained better when you look at the search terms. Therefore, same way, in the in title, certain type of information you'll only find when you're using the in text command, and it would not work well if applied with the in title. So those examples would be a better differentiator, but for that, let's finish up the in text, which is what I'm going to get to next. I will review quickly in the book and see if there is any other examples that are significant and for me to explain. Else, we will call it a day, and then I'll see you all tomorrow. here is an example of incorrect query, and I think we have touched upon how we are going to apply the OR. So if you've got a minus sign to exclude the title LinkedIn, and you are going to use OR to find something as an option, which is to be an inclusion and not an exclusion, or logically and definitely it makes sense not to do it the way it's written right here, because it's not going to function. You can only compare apples with apples, especially against OR, which is what could be compared as more replaceable or substitute, can be substituted. LinkedIn type. Okay. So nothing else to discuss further with the in title. Okay. Um, all right. So next we have to see how we're going to use in-text. That is a very deep search query, and it is very not only useful, but it has got that depth of scooping out, or basically searching into the deeper layers of textual content. So that's usually my favorite. And but you cannot call any of these favorites, but basically if you for deeper searches. But remember, when we start to apply all of the advanced operators as if they are harmonized or they work in harmony with each other to give you the best results, that's when you get that satisfaction, and you would feel comfortable and feel in command of doing your searches. This is going to happen very soon as we get done with all the advanced operators. They're not a whole lot of them, but when we start, finish up with all whatever is left over, we can do it in next two classes, and then we're going to start with complex search. That's situational searches, create a situation, a scenario, the type of search that you are interested in, or something that your profession would be that would benefit you in your profession or professional working. We can bring that into the class, and we can call it a case that we have to solve, or find a solution to a problem, do the search and all that. It's going to be even better. So that entire experience obviously is shared with everybody else. So I think we'll get to it very quickly, maybe after two classes. Next week is going to be when we're going to do complex searches. So with this, let's call it an evening or a day, listing. All the best for the day, and everybody else. There is Christy and so what happened here? Kristen, Listy is there, and Gary is gone. Randy is gone, eh? He comes and goes, eh?
Yeah, he just appears and disappears.
Yeah. It's not McDonald's. I have to let him know. Not a McDonald's window. Comes in, orders, and leaves.
Well,
Anyway.
it's not Burger King your way all day. It's like no.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, like he just appears, and then I have to admit him in.
Mhm.
And then I feel like, should I tell him what we discussed? Should we go back a little, rewind, or just to fit him in? But gets too late. Anyway, thank you so much, Kristen, for making it today
No
and being in
problem.
the class. Have a wonderful evening, and bye to you, Listy. See you next time. Tomorrow we have a class too.
Okay.
It's going to be tiring for you all, because it's like back to back, like I said, tomorrow and day after as well. Anyway, we'll keep it up hopefully. Take care. Bye bye.
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 Thank you.